Welcome to Coach's Roundtable. I'm Ed Codi to my right, the Swami George Abraham to my left, the Tiger Albert Campman. Let's go to Spotlight, recruiting news. Football. Mars football and basketball player Michael Carmody will continue his football career at the University of Notre Dame. Carmody, a 6'7", 290-pound offensive lineman, also had offers from Pitt, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, and Texas A&M. He is the fourth offensive lineman from the WPIAL to join Notre Dame the last 3 years, joining Josh Lugg from North Allegheny, Robert Hainsey at Gateway, and Andrew Christophe of Pine Richland. And of course, his brother Robbie is a basketball player at the University of Notre Dame, and he's also friends with Phil Jakovic, as the two fathers grew up together in Shaler.
We had heard a while back that was his destination, but Notre Dame wasn't in as hard as they. And all of a sudden, they came on strong, and that's all it needed. That's all they needed. Once he got the taste of Notre Dame, he was all in.
Yeah, I talked to his dad right about that time, and they weren't in on him hard yet. It was the night of the moon game. The thing that amazed me, once again, another star, and this guy's a star. Nothing.
We've seen him play basketball.
Yeah.
For a guy his size to have the quickness, his
I said that to Albert.
athleticism,
The
his
best thing
feet.
you could say, you don't look like he weighs 290. That's how he moves.
And the thing about him, he's got a mean streak to him.
He got a little edge.
Very mean
He
streak.
likes to,
very mean
mix it up.
He has a very mean streak.
He has the right.
That comes in handy for playing Clemson. You don't want to be too nice.
But look, the fact that maybe Notre Dame came in because Ohio State started to perch, Michigan, Texas A&M, right then and there.
Look who they beat. This is
And
what
Penn State
this
and
is
Pitt.
what I go by. Like Pitt will get a guy and they'll say they beat out Kent State, Akron. I'm not interested. Look who they beat out.
Yeah, now Pitt get two really good defensive backs.
Oh, yeah.
And they beat out some real good schools like Louisville and North Carolina for them. They got two of them out of Georgia, which is interesting that Pitt would get down here and grab a couple players out of Georgia.
The key to recruiting, and I've been saying all along, I figured this out, Eddie. Defensive linemen. Who can you get can play that position? So if Pitt can start landing, and they're not, they keep landing defensive backs, receivers, but there's a million of them around. Can you find that 6 foot, the Aaron Donald? They got lucky with Aaron Donald. Remember that?
Yeah, no one wanted him.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember talking to him because we did a couple of the Butler Penn Hills football games, and I saw him before a Pitt game. He had his Penn Hills jacket on. Went over to talk to him. I said, "Hey, what school is he interested in?" He goes, "This is it, Pitt."
Beautiful.
He said, "No one else is interested in me."
They paid a price. He's the best
it's awesome.
lineman in the NFL.
It'd be interesting if they play him on offense or defense. I'm thinking offensive line. You thinking offensive line?
I think so. For him to be maybe, I mean, he's got that streak to play defense.
He definitely has that. You know what he has, and Eddie, you brought it. You've been on fire for 2 weeks, Eddie. I never give Eddie this much credit. He's been doing some. He's been getting some good stuff.
You've been talking about
the two sports.
Yeah. He's no big
Love that.
basketball.
Ohio
He's
State got in
fun.
on him first of all because
Yeah.
they watched him play, and then all the other sports said, "But wait a minute, you mean he plays basketball like that?"
Yeah.
So other recruits would come in and say, "Let's watch him play basketball. Let us watch him practice basketball." And they would watch him move and tomahawk the ball, and they say, "Oh my goodness, what kind of athlete is this?"
He's got some moves in there.
Yes, he does. Good. Let me say this about Pitt. Knowing that they're missing out on a lot of these WPIAL players, they're branching out more, going into the rich football states like Georgia, where a lot of those Georgia kids go, we're not going to play if we go to Georgia or Alabama. Along comes a Pitt, some teams out of the ACC, and they say, we have a better chance of playing there.
Yeah,
so I give Pitt credit
I
for
like
going
that
in there.
one. I do like that one, but you cannot continue to miss on the top recruits in this area. They're getting second.
You got to get away.
They got to get the top.
You got to.
But here's what's going to happen. We know this. We've said this before. In this circle here, where you go, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan,
that's what it
Notre
is.
Dame. Okay, so you go to a Pitt game. I've been to so many of them. You get 35,000. Even when an undefeated Miami comes in.
You know what's worse? Wait till they start these 11 o'clock games. Who are they going to give the 11 o'clock games to? The riffraff.
And we said that while the ACC TV network is going to fuel a lot more money into Pitt, it's going to kill the crowd also. But you look at that little circle there. You go up to Penn State, there's 100,000. You go to the Horseshoe, there's 100. You go to Michigan, 100. You go to Notre Dame, there's 80,000. So when they bring these top-notch recruits in, that's a recruiting tool to be there on a Saturday game.
People signed up in a whiteout. Penn State, you know how many people they sign when they'll bring in 50, 17 will sign right there.
That's
Big
why they have to.
recruiting
They have
weekends.
to. They have to. And I think Narduzzi's doing it, trying at least.
Yeah.
They have to use the alumni. They have to get Aaron Donald. They have to get Revis. They have to get all the local players that sign. Say, here, I know it doesn't look good, but you're going to get a great education. You're going to play great football. You're going to be in the end. Look at this wall.
Next to the
Look at this
Steelers.
wall.
They got to use the
They gotta use
Steelers
everything they
as
can.
much as
And-
we,
and
to us it means nothing.
Their recruiting's harder because
Oh.
they have to be a national recruiter, and that's a tough deal.
That is tough.
And I give the guy all that.
Yes.
There's no question. The basketball coach has a tougher job yet because the basketball's even worse in the area.
True, but then again, if he can get 2 or 3 players,
Yeah, get one. Get one would be
whereas
good.
Yeah,
Yes.
if he'd have
football,
gotten Morton, it would have made his year.
Yes.
absolutely,
Oh, it had to be
would've-
heartbreaking.
Oh my
It had to be
goodness.
heartbroken not getting Morton. Yes.
In volleyball recruiting, knock volleyball star Heather Rowe is still a junior. She's going to the University of Albany to continue her volleyball career. Rowe, a 6'1" outside hitter, she's a 2-time All WPIL, All Section, and All Stater. This past season, she had 290 kills and 57 blocks, and of course, during her sophomore season, she helped the Knights win the WPL and state championship. She's an outstanding player. We watched her play.
She's good.
And Albany is making their ways into this area. In a lot of
Gattuso,
sports.
right?
In a
That's
lot
where
of
he coaches the
sports.
football
Yeah,
team.
there's a
In
ton
a lot
of
of
Newcastle,
sports.
Altoona
They're coming
kids
in this
there.
area.
Yeah.
They found a niche in this area for sports.
Yeah,
Yes,
they did.
have.
That's smart.
And honor Slippery Rock High School pitcher Ian Balquist was named District 10 Region 6 Pitcher of the Year. Balquist posted a 6-1 record with a 1.95 ERA. And Seneca Valley grad John Bittner, he hit .327 with 28 RBI for the Penn State Barron baseball team, and he was recently honored with the Team Spirit and Hustle Award. College and pro baseball, Butler and Mercyhurst grad and pitcher Colin McKee. He's now with the Houston Astros system. He starts some games at AA, some at AAA. Recently, he struck out 8 batters in a row. He's a big, strong right-hander. And Butler grad Connor Olio finished his freshman year at the University of North Carolina. Olio, a pitcher, went 3-1 with a 4.58 ERA for the highly ranked Tar Heels, who just missed out in the World Series of college baseball. They
Started
made it,
one of their games.
Yeah, made it to the Super Regional.
Hey, Nick Patton just got to the team, the Pirates team that is in West Virginia. They're in the New York Penn League, so he'll play in Nows.
And a potential here for Butler someday to have their
Isn't
third
that
and
great?
fourth pitchers to
Isn't
pitch
that-
in
that's
the
unbelievable.
major league.
That is
John
unbelievable.
Stuper, Matt Clement,
Yeah.
and I think this Colin McKee, he threw 95, 96 when he was at Mercyhurst.
Yeah, Mercer's. That's the baseball player.
When you strike out 8 in a row, and you're in AA, AAA, that means you're this close.
Mm-hmm.
to make it.
And I like what the Astros do with him. He'll start a game AA, then the next time he may start one at AAA. Then he'll send him. He goes back and forth.
I wish the Pirates had somebody who could start in AA.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And Slippery Rock University grad and Washington Nationals first baseman Mitch Adams, he hit 2 home runs and drove in 7 runs in a 15-5 win over Arizona. Seems like he's healthy once again.
He's constantly hitting the baseball when he's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
One thing he can do, he's always mashed it. He might not be a gazelle in the field. He might not run the bases like a gazelle either, but he can hit.
And in college track, Butler's Emily Horseman, she's a member of Slippery Rock University's 4x100 meter relay team. That was named first team all PSAC. And Slippery Rock University coach John Papa was named PSAC Women's Track and Field Coach of the Year. He's one of the best coaches around. Slippery Rock has one of the best track programs around.
And they put a little more money in it than most teams.
We visited him, and he has a great technique for recruiting kids. He sends his brochures out. He gets into the coaches personally, finds out about the kid, and then he uses his money wisely. You know, that's so important to use your money wisely.
And he's getting the best pole vaulter out of the WPIL. Jack caught a spot from Butler, who
That's how you do it.
15-6.
Oh, yeah. When you think Slippery Rock, you think track. I mean, on football,
Always been
basketball,
great.
you think
Always
track.
been great.
Their track facilities are outstanding.
Yeah, it's great for them. It's a good place.
Lernerville Speedway, Carl Bowser of Sarver, he won the Chad McCutcheon Memorial Sprint. And Michael Norris of Sarver, he won the Late Models Feature. Both drivers will compete in this weekend's Firecracker 100 that runs Thursday through Saturday. You can expect big crowds out there at Lernerville. Let's hope the rain cooperates.
You guys have always told me, they get big crowds.
Always big crowds.
That is awesome. That is so great to hear that people go out and still do that.
Crowd.
Yes.
Yeah, but they love that stuff.
Yes.
You know, it's not our cup of tea,
Right.
maybe, but that's why they make more vanilla ice cream.
Yes.
Our stories of the week: Major League Baseball, the Pirates 32-39, 2-8 road trip. Now they in last place after Cincinnati beat the Astros last night. They open a 5-game homestand with Detroit, 2 games, and San Diego 3. But guys, here's the stretch. After that, the next 26 games against Houston, Milwaukee, the Cubs, St. Louis, and Philadelphia either make hay or become big sellers. But this next 31 game stretch, I'm serious. They need to win 19 or 20 if they're going to make any kind of noise in the division.
Yeah, I'd say the number. I'd say the number's 18. That's what I put down on the board, and I think they're going to be sellers. I don't see any way. But when you have the pitching staff they throwing out there, because their team on the field is playing really well, but their staff is so beat up that I don't think they can survive, especially with how bad Archer's pitching. So I don't see it happening. I'm the optimist. I always am, but they can't get too fast quiz. The game they can't get to them. It's just the way it is. So it's
Is he
it's a
going
struggle.
in?
Who's that?
Vasquez.
I'll tell you why he's not going.
I don't. It depends what happens. July 25th, this run ends, and then right then at the end of July, you have the trading
Without a
deadline.
doubt.
So say they lose 20 of these games, definitely a bunch of them are going. We're asking a lot of them, considering the fact they had that 7-game losing streak on the road, following an earlier season 8-game losing streak. How many teams make the playoffs with losing streaks
They're not
like
gonna do
that?
Oh, they're not. I never even crossed my
The
mind.
way you beat a losing streak is with a dominating pitcher. You need a pitcher in there that's going to stop the losing streak. That was telling you.
Just call him stopper,
and he's
remember?
and he's gone. They don't have a stopper. They don't. So the games they lose, they're losing 3-1 lead. They lose 4-3. Next game 8-7. Next game 2-1. They're finding ways to lose games. Vasquez. I remember I told you about 3 weeks ago. I get rid of him, and I said it. I wouldn't. I looked at his contract. He's
cheap.
He's cheap. So I will not get rid of him. You got to keep him because he's so good, and they got him so cheap.
You both mentioned something. You got to let your fans think you're trying. I mean, he's bamboozled his fans. At least make your fans think, well, we're not trading everybody.
I think they've caught on to that.
They may have.
I think they've
The
caught
crowd
on to
say
that.
they have.
That's what we said last week, between anger turning to
Hey,
indifference.
did you see that they sent that kid for money to Toronto? He faced Trout last night.
Well, he gave a home run on his first pitch in his trying. He gave Kingman his first pitch in
Kingman
Houston.
against
No,
Trout.
it was the game before that to a lefty.
I mean,
first pitch went out.
first
went out.
pitch.
But they had to get rid of him. They gave him all the chances in the world.
Yeah.
They did, and he had a good minor league record. It's one of those guys from Pittsburgh. They don't develop people pitchers when they get up there. Sarich gets a free route. I'm so upset with that.
Yeah. Uncle Ray there.
Uncle Ray. Good way to say that. When somebody does good, he was developed by Ray.
Razor.
The 7 other guys who don't develop, they never blame him. I don't
Those guys
understand
in
it.
the fan are like that. They'll hobnob with him. Same with Narduzzi. Very rarely are they ever critical because
It's hard to be, isn't it?
we've talked about that. I understand that. No. Like today, they hired a guy to write for the PG, and the one guy that wrote in and said, he's not a pit guy. He can't cover him. Why can't he?
A better guy to cover.
I agree.
It's a better guy
I
to cover.
agree.
Hey, GM Neil Huntington on the team, and that's the road trip where they went 2-8. He said, hey, we played a lot of close games. A hit here, another pitch here. This team's close to turning it around. I like the way they're playing. They're playing hard. I'm granted, they're playing hard, but this is the major leagues. It comes down to wins.
Yeah, and they're not going to get him. I said this last week, so I'm just repeating myself. When you spend $60, $70 million and you get the injuries they have, there's no chance to win. No chance. You have no depth, so they're going with single-A players, double-A players who shouldn't be up there.
Well, like over the weekend,
That's
the
it.
Yankees grabbed the guy with the most homers in baseball.
So it's not fair.
No,
that's not fair.
And we said that. They try to grab guys like
It's
the
not
pitcher
fair.
from the Orioles who was 1-10 with
a
almost
6.
7 ERA. But I watch for these reasons. Josh Bell having an all-star year, leading the majors in RBIs with 65, and rookie Brian Reynolds. Just love to watch this kid play.
He's really playing good.
361.
He played for Denny King's high school.
Brentwood,
and they told me about it.
Did he play at Vanderbilt?
No.
No.
Oh, yes.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
Yes,
Vandy.
yes.
And him and another kid on their team. They're both in the majors.
Robbie
now.
Ray. Robbie Ray pitched for Arizona.
And they had Mookie Betts on their travel team. You think that was a good team?
And Newman's playing well, hitting
No,
350.
No, that's why I got hope. My optimism. You're saying that if they get, I know it's if, but I never give up hope. That's why it's hard to break the team up. Talion gets back. Now I don't know if he's coming back, but Talion, Williams, Archer goes back to the way he was as an All-Star, and there's a lot of ifs.
I'll talk about him next.
But their team on the field looks pretty darn good.
It does. Marte hitting 287, 10 homers, 34. Now he's 31 years old. What we're going to do with him and Cabrera? He's definitely going to
He's
go
going someplace.
Because their team's going to want him. He's done a terrific job.
That's a consummate professional on a minor league contract, coming and playing the way he plays that wall better than Polanco, and he's out there once a week.
But he reminds me of the outfielder they had a few years ago. This is an audition for them to play for the Pirates.
It is.
Because someone's going to pluck them that's
Without
a
a doubt.
contending
no
World
doubt.
Series
Without a
team.
doubt.
Now, the pitching ERA is 5.12. It's 27th in the major
Lucky
leagues.
it's not last.
Their hits and walks per innings, they're 26. Archer, 17 home runs he's
Pitiful.
given up. 6 in the last 2 games. I watched that Atlanta game where he had a 5-0 lead. He gave up 5 home runs in that game and lost 7-5.
But his headband looks nice, Eddie. Come on. His headband.
He is just not the same pitcher. It's just I watched him pitch for Tampa Bay.
He's throwing them down the
You
middle.
know, I watched him pitch. His velocity's off. His movement's off. All the things. His command's really off. He's throwing too many pitches in the first 3 innings, so his pitch can't count, which is major today.
They're just sitting on his fastball.
Yeah, so it's
That's
a
what
struggle.
it is.
It's such a struggle.
But here's the thing. Even though you say Williams is coming back and the
Well, they need all of them.
other guys rehabbing and tell you, still the Pirates have too many starters in that mix. I think with other teams, contending teams, their number 3s or number 4s. They don't have a real number 1 and number 2.
Talion's number 1.
Now last year for a while there, Williams and Archer, they were pretty good.
Talion was excellent.
They were
Talion
pretty
was
good.
super. They need Cool. I told you, Cool. They got a lot of injury
He's
guys.
coming back,
Cool
isn't
has
he?
to come back too. So
Isn't-
yeah, he's coming
Williams
back.
will start Thursday
Yeah.
night.
Williams come back right now.
That's big. That's big.
Yeah, we'll
If he
see.
can-
You need pitchers.
But no,
And
I
then you
mean,
need Lau back.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
another one. You go right down the line.
There you go. You have a good team out there in the field. Do you want to
What do you do?
build depth on the bench and a couple of 1 or 2 more real good starters? You got to spend another 40 to 50 million.
They have to. There it is.
And
And they aren't
now,
doing it.
now your payroll goes to 120
You have
million.
to do it.
No.
That should be the floor. 120 million.
This is what he said.
Not
Albert.
going to happen.
I know.
Like with Keiko out there, and I know you can't win all that, but you show your guys you're with them in the boat. Like he's like, here,
Yeah,
swim.
they're not with a boat.
Looking at Major League Baseball division races, okay, there's 6 divisions. So in the National League East, the Braves are up 2.5 on the Phillies, and then the Central, the Brewers 1 over the Cubs. In the American League East, the Yanks are up half game on Tampa, and that's it. The Dodgers are up by 10.5, Twins up by 10, Astros by 9.5.
Those first
Not
5
very
you
good.
mentioned. Those first 5 you mentioned are going to be buyers out of this mind. They all have money.
absolutely.
No, they all have money. Atlanta, Philadelphia, Cubs. You just met. They're going to be buying like you say. Man, that team just got 6 new players. They're going to be buying
There's
like
one
crazy.
team that's still not out in the American League, Texas, as far as a wild card. Other than that, everything's done.
Hey, this date in Major League Baseball, and I always look at these. I say, here's one I'm going to find for Albert. June 14th, 1952, Warren Spahn of the Braves. He struck out 18 Cubs in a 3-1 loss in 15 innings and started his next turnaround.
And his arm didn't fall off.
That's amazing. My buddy sent me one. That last week, one of those days in baseball, Nolan Ryan threw 245 pitches. I'll say that again. 240, not 140, 245
He
pitches.
pitched 4 days later. Well, 3 days later. Remember, they used to have 4 minutes
jeez.
now.
I'm going to say this again. A lot of these guys today, yeah, they throw 98, but they're throwers. Spawn said this. I read this about him. He faced you in the first inning. He started you over with a curveball, then a slider. The next time he faced you in the 3rd inning, you never saw that same sequence. No. He mixed how he kept that in his mind with each batter.
And the
brilliance,
were
the brilliance
too.
of
Del
his
Crandall
pitching.
was his
Pitching
catcher.
has never changed for 150 yards. Work fast, throw strikes, and change speeds. You do all 3 of those well. I mean, excellent. You got a super pitcher. Now, none of them can do it today. I mean, none. Greg Maddux did it the best of all time. They would say, he only throws 93. We throw 93, 81, inside, outside. He throw it before you were ready.
Pragmatics.
He wouldn't be drafted today.
He wouldn't hurt you if he hit you in the head without a helmet
would
on.
not draft him today. They say he doesn't throw hard enough. Like, oh my God.
Further proof that the greatest athlete of all time, not only baseball player, Babe Ruth.
It's my boy.
In the late 1920s, his away jersey just sold for $5.64 million. It broke the previous record of his shirt sold in 1920 for $4.4 million.
If I had money, my dad would have said from heaven, listen,
amazing.
Spend that money I left you on the Babe. He passed that on to me.
Yeah,
he used to watch him play and just say, all these are good players. They look like little minor leaguers compared to the Babe.
And remember, what did Bob Prince always used to say in a home run? Kiss a goodbye.
Yes.
While the Diamondbacks and Phillies hit 13 home runs in their game
in one day, right?
Monday night, a Major League Baseball record. Arizona hit 8 in the game, 3 in a row to start the game. How about this? Major League Baseball is on a pace to have a record 78 players hit 25 or more home runs, and a record number of players to hit 40 or more home runs. Once again, all the evidence we need that the ball is tighter and it's flying out of these sandbox stadiums.
And they keep trying to force down this nutty baseball guy that the pitching's better. Now you tell me how many you said 78?
78 guys hit 25
and they're trying to tell me the pitchers are better. I want to help shots.
I don't know if it was the Arizona game or what game. The center field was 400 feet, and they were like, in the game, 4 or 5 home runs hit over center field. When did that ever happen before like that?
No, like you said, the ball, the lousy pitchers. It's all in place.
San Diego down 11-1 Saturday night?
Yes, they come back and won.
They won 14.
They scored 92 runs in a series. 92 is a record. 92 runs in one series. That's both teams scored 92 runs. Yeah. That takes usually like 3 weeks for 92 runs to be scored.
No one will pitch in Colorado. It's one of they can get anybody to pitch.
They can't. At U.S. Open, Pebble Beach, Gary Woodland, he birdied the 18th to win the U.S. Open by 3 strokes, a -13 over Brooks Koepka, -10 for his first major win. Koepka was trying for his 3rd straight Open win and to tie a 114-year-old record. He did set a record. How about this? By finishing with a 68 to become the first golfer in Open history to finish all 4 rounds in the 60s and lose. That's a record.
Yeah, and he did 5 rounds before left the last one. Another good story about Woodland. He's an athlete. He was a tremendous basketball player in high school and college, and decided I'm going to play golf because I can't make it. I can't make it in the NBA. Shooting machine.
Yeah,
yes.
and it took that to beat Koepka. This Koepka consistently from one tournament to the next.
Right.
Yeah, he doesn't look like he's going anywhere.
You better be at the top of your game to beat him.
Because I'm a golf fan but not a fanatic. When you put those two, just see their backs. They both are built the same way.
They work out
big, strong guys.
They lift together.
You can tell they do some serious lifting. Jeez.
National Hockey League, after getting mugged at home 5-1 by the Bruins in Game 6, the St. Louis Blues went to Boston and returned the favor by whacking the Bruins 4-1 to win their first Stanley Cup. They took a 4-0 lead. Remember last week we were saying you jump out 2-0. I was watching. I said they're going to win this. They jumped out 2-0. They just took control of that game. How about this? On New Year's Day, St. Louis had the worst record in hockey.
Amazing.
They then won 30 of their next 49 games.
What a turnaround. Only in hockey it can done. They changed coaches, they changed goalies, and they went to a defensive style. Watch our show, we'll give you the winners. George, how many, what are they, procrastinators? These guys who predict things, who get paid, whatever the word is, they get paid millions of dollars, and everyone, Bruins easy. Bruins easy.
Golden State
easy.
240 to 1 they were.
They're never right.
Never.
And here's the thing. Everyone was talking about hockey. Speed teams. These were not 2 of the fastest teams. These were 2 very physical teams. So now, copycats. Well, maybe we don't need as much speed. The Penguins are built one way. They're built towards that speed. I don't see them changing. The rookie there, Jordan Binnington, for the Blues, he stopped 32 shots. And Ryan O'Reilly, who scored in 4 straight Cup games, the first time since the great Wayne Gretzky, he won the Conn Smythe Trophy.
And O'Reilly was traded in the offseason to St. Louis. Sometimes the trades you make work, some of the trades you don't make work. This one was a great trade for St. Louis. You guys,
this Pegwood G, I guess Kessel refused to trade.
Yeah.
Well, do you like, it's like he's trying to get to his guys through the media.
That's a
like
new style.
saying he's going
Yeah.
to trade
That's a
him.
new
I
style.
don't like
It's
that.
not working.
That's
I
a
don't
new
like that.
style.
And then you talk about him and trades. They trade 24-year-old Oli Mata to Chicago for 24-year-old Dominic Cahoon and a 5th-round pick.
Is that how you say his name? Cahoon. I wasn't sure.
And Mata is a member of the Pens 2016 and 17 Cup teams. He's still young. He had 116 block shots this year, 3rd on the team. Cahoon had 13 goals in 82 games. I don't know what anyone's getting excited about. The trade doesn't excite me. The Pens saved $3 million in the deal. And with Kessel, he has a say-so where he's going to go. They want to trade Letang. He's had all those concussions, Hornquist, and even talk about Malkin. So he's throwing all this stuff out there. They have a lot of problems.
I'm saying Kessel's going. Kessel's going to go. I don't know where and how it's going to end up, but that's why they got that with the winger. They had to get somebody because they felt Kessel was going to go. I will write down somewhere in the next month. Kessel will be playing.
And the fact
He
that
has
he's
to
going
approve, right?
he has to approve it, and the fact that he wants to go to a contending team, a
sure.
good,
That's
good
what's going to
team,
happen.
They're not going to get what they want.
No, not if
next one.
if he can veto.
NBA, the Toronto Raptors, they win their first NBA title, taking down the Warriors 4-2 with a 110 win in Game 6. Raptors, Kawhi Leonard, MVP, and the Warriors, Klay Thompson tore his ACL. That followed Kevin Durant, who tore his Achilles, both with surgery. The Warriors, with 3 titles the last 5 years, is the run over, guys?
Yes.
I would think it has to be.
Durant
They're both out next year until at least half the season. They're done. Yeah, they're done. There's going to be new champion in the West. I'll say that. I'm not sure about Toronto. I don't know if Leonard's coming back or not. George, you think Leonard's coming back?
No.
You don't think he's coming back? Okay. Clippers?
Clippers.
Okay.
The Parity in Interscholastic Athletics Act that we talked about last week, the legislation calls for separate public and private school state playoffs. Charter schools considered public. The proposed bill will not have any impact, listen to this, on regular season or district playoff tournaments like the WPIL. And now the bill also calls for elimination of the transfer rule. The PIAA opposes this bill in every facet. AAU teams, what a field day. No transfer rule, but it's a recruiting tool for them. So be careful what you're wishing for. They're going to be kids around there, a quarterback from a 1A or 2A, and say, I don't have enough receivers.
Went to McDivitt.
Right. I don't have enough.
gonna happen all over the
I'm going to go to Pine or NA or Central where they could throw the ball.
And the problems, the charters, and their public schools. So by slapping the parochials, you've done nothing.
The transfer rule is the one that bothers me the most.
So let's say Central can win the WPL championship. They can't participate in the state.
Yes, they're saying.
They have a separate one.
They have a separate one. Separate one.
This was not thought of well by me. I mean, I don't know the answer, but I know this. Charter schools is a major concern, and transfers is my major concern.
I
don't want somebody playing
the
transfer.
The guy at Bernstein sponsored. We know the kid.
Aaron Bernstein.
And I said, Bertie, the charters are the problem.
We have much more to talk about this. This thing's filled with
coming up
gray
more.
area and loopholes. But a sign of the times made the apocalypse. The city of Toronto had a huge celebration parade to honor the NBA champion Raptors, marred by gunfire.
I know, it's crazy.
4 people
Crazy.
shot. The crowd scattering in a panic. And then from 93.7, the fan. Jim Connolly, I heard this, a Georgia radio sports station asked the question, would you take a gunshot wound in the thigh in exchange for the Bulldogs winning the national championship? 68% said yes, they would.
Okay.
Hey, we're running out of time, but by the way, the College World Series, it's still rolling along. It should be done by Labor Day. Some Broadway shows wish they would last this long. That's it for us. We'll see you next week.